Ms. Garnett, you and your mother, Ms. Miller, have opened your case to prove to the defendant that he is your biological father. You are baffled because you consider him a daddy and a best friend and state his doubt is unwarranted and demand an apology once the results are revealed. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Langston, you claim you have always known you weren't Ms. Garnett's biological father and feel after the results are revealed, you are the one who deserves an apology. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, how did this all start?
It started with a text message about a couple months ago.
Okay.
That wasn't the very beginning, but this is why we're here. The text message brought us here, and this is the evidence that I brought in today.
Oh, okay.
Can I give it to you?
Please, Jerome. So this started with a text.
Mm-hmm. So after almost 2 years of reaching out to my father after visiting him in 2015, I was pleading to get him to respond. He wasn't responding. And he finally responded with this message.
So I think your mother blanked me and you about your birth father being me. She was missing around when you were born. I don't want to keep causing you pain, but I have mixed feelings about it. Talk to your mother and find out the truth. You sent this text message, Mr.
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
So why were you estranged for 2 years? What happened?
We live in different states, Your Honor, but we had always been close. I went to visit him in Chicago for a funeral. It was by his side for one of our family members, and everything was great. But when I returned back home, I don't know what happened. He just cut off communication.
Well, I wasn't talking to her like I normally do.
Why?
Because I was just harboring this gut feeling that I had read from the beginning that she's not my daughter. I had it read from the beginning when she was born.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Miss Garnett, you grew up as a daddy's girl. You say he's your best friend.
He's always been my dad. I've always known him to be my dad. When I became an adult, around 21 years old, that's when we started really becoming close. 2 years ago, when I was at the funeral with him, he had brought up for the very first time that he thought I may not have been his daughter, which blew my mind. And he went on and on about him and my mother's past and all this. But then after he vomited all this tragedy on me, he recanted and took it back.
I was sparing her feeling because I seen the fact right away, and I'm not trying to hurt her. I love her.
And I can see you're emotional, just thinking about her. But what, you feel like you just have to tell the truth?
I got to. I can't harbor this.
What made you keep this secret that you had this doubt all this time?
A couple of issues. One day, she used to live out south. I came through the back. Her auntie downstairs let me in. I walked upstairs. I didn't knock on the door. I looked in. I see this guy sitting on the couch with her, like he running this game to get up on something. I knocked on the door. I said, "What's going on?" Ain't nothing. No, this is my cousin. I said, "Hey, you can get out of here, cousin. You can leave." But I don't believe it.
So you believe that she was with someone else when she was with you?
Yeah, I believe that.
So, Ms. Miller, who is this cousin?
He was not my cousin. He was my sister's husband's cousin. And he was just a family friend as well.
Was he someone you were intimate with?
No, never.
Was he at the house trying to talk to you, see if you have a relationship?
He did like me, but there was no way that I wasn't interested in him. And I made that known to him all the time.
So, Mr. Langston, what other doubts do you have?
I got a play cousin. She immediately told me, because I pressured her, "Did you do anything with him?" She kept saying no. Then she came around. "Okay, I'll tell you the truth. Yeah, I gave him some because he kept knocking on the door begging. So I finally gave in and gave him some."
Who you getting me mixed up with? I'm serious.
Man,
who are you getting me mixed up with?
Don't play that.
I'm serious.
You did that. You
I
told
don't
me
know
that.
who you're
I
talking
swear
about.
on my dead father you did that and said
Wait a
that
minute,
to me.
who is this?
Well, get up off of that.
So wait a minute, Mr. Langston. When was this that you confronted her?
And why is it that you're just saying something?
I was talking to her on the phone.
Okay.
And she told me who been over there. And I said, "Yeah, what are you trying to do?" He was trying to get some. I said, "Yeah, did you give him some?" "No, I didn't give him none." I said, hey, you know how I am. If you did it, you did it. No, I didn't do it. I said, come on, you might well if you did it. Yeah, I gave him some. He knocking on the door, he kept on bagging and bagging. I finally gave him some.
So wait.
Lord is my witness.
So, Miss Miller, you don't remember this conversation?
I don't remember any of that.
Do you remember the
bet you
play
don't.
cousin?
I don't know who he's talking about.
Do you remember the play cousin? Do you remember this person he's talking
his
about?
play cousin or my play cousin?
He said it
My
was
play
his.
cousin.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Miss Miller, when you got pregnant, you knew he was the biological
I
father?
knew he was about. Oh, he was the only one I was sleeping with.
He knew, didn't he?
He the one told me he was. He told me upon conceiving that I was pregnant.
Really?
I don't recall
Well, I
that.
do. I do.
I just don't recall.
I don't know how you can forget
Yeah.
that. We talked
I
about it
forget
in
a lot of things.
2001.
Okay.
When the baby was born, Miss Garnett, did Mr. Langston participate in the birth?
Not at all. He didn't have. He was just not that type of person. I didn't even expect him to.
Did he sign the birth certificate?
No.
I paid child support not only 18 years, I paid it 20 years.
But when
they
did you
started
start?
sending me checks back for overpayment. 1,700, 800, 1,000, 500.
So how come you didn't take that $150,000 and pay for a DNA test when before I turned 36 years
I'll
old?
tell you, I'll tell
right.
you why.
That's right.
I have the answer for you, Your Honor. I got a birth certificate right here saying that, where you see?
Let me see that, Jerome. This birth certificate says what, sir?
I'm not on there.
Because you
That's
didn't
the
come to
problem.
sign it. You have to come to
I'm
sign
not
it.
there.
In 1980.
So-
Well, if I'm
Can't
ain't on there, why they took $100,000 from me?
I ain't took nothing from you.
The child support
The
did.
state took it, not me. Your Honor, he was thinking that it's a possibility that she wasn't his. I took myself to a hospital and I had a DNA test done. He never followed up. For him not to turn around and follow up, and I thought it was the end of it when he didn't follow through. And he was always a part of her life from that point on. And I thought that he came to his senses and he realized that she was his because he never asked. He never said anything else about that until now.
So, Miss Garnett, tell Mr. Langston how you do feel in this moment.
When he sent that text to me,
That's crushed.
I cried my hardest cry.
Oh, baby, don't do that.
I was devastated.
She
I felt
was.
like he was taking my identity away from me because I've always known I was a Langston.
No cry, baby.
And I have so much about my father. When he came back into my life when I was an adult, it was like a piece of the puzzle was missing. And we became best friends. I found out why I was so directionally challenged, because he is. It's just so much. He's been in Chicago all his life. He still get lost. I get lost in a circle. There's just, not only the personality, there's just so many other things, and we just bonded and clicked. I don't think we would have been able to do that if he wasn't my father.
You enjoyed this relationship, Mr. Langston?
Listen, I didn't want to hurt her. When I had that phone and did that text, it crushed me when I pushed that button, because I know what the effect was going to have on her. And I don't want to send her through that, because I love her. So why am I going to send her through that? I didn't want to. But how am I going to deny how I feel in the inside? How I'm going to do that when I got grandbabies and I want them to be my grandbabies? That'll be the best news I can ever have. I ain't never flown on no plane before. I came on that plane and came here. That's something I don't do, and I'm 61 years old. But I did it because I want to resolve this. If she my daughter, I run to the plane and jump on it.
But the truth is, you've had these doubts, and you just felt like, I want to be able to look at this entire relationship with a clear lens.
I do. Listen, this is how I look at something like this. If I can't trust myself, how am I going to trust you or anybody else? I might do something I never did before, and I look and say, you did that? What? You did that? So how am I going to trust you if I can't trust me? So I don't trust.
Jerome, I could not have explained it any better.
And I live by that. And for me to send her that text, how you think it affected me? You think I want to hurt her? That's the last thing I want to do is hurt her. If she's not my daughter, it's going to have an effect on me.
Don't cry.
And I want to get into grandbabies.
Don't cry.
Life.
Miss Garnett, this has really affected you.
It affect me.
This has been very difficult, I can see.
I don't want to send her through that. But I got my feelings, and I want to know the truth. Believe me, I wouldn't have jumped on no plane if I didn't feel like I wanted to resolve this situation. My eyes were bucked like this on that plane all the way to Atlanta.
So, Miss Garnett, the court noticed amidst all of this confusion, you began to post on Facebook. Mm-hmm. You put this post up. Can you please step up to the plasma and tell the court why you posted this?
So after the text message, I did some soul searching. I was just laying in my bed looking through my phone, and I saw a picture of myself, this picture, and it reminded me of this picture of my grandfather. This is Mr. Langston's father. And I noticed some similarities in our faces. And I posted it to Facebook to get some support about the situation without putting all my business out there. I said, this is my grandfather. Do you see the resemblance? You know, I even had cousins respond, oh my goodness, you look just like Papa. I never realized that.
And you said people supported you in this.
They did.
They said, yes, you do look like your grandfather.
Yeah, they were even shocked.
And that further made you feel like this man is
comfort.
my biological father. I just look like my grandfather.
Yes, it gave me more comfort.
Mr. Langston, do you see the resemblance to your father?
Be honestly, I do. But there's a thing right here. My father put me out. She was helping me take care of my mama. She's a good person. I ain't gonna take that from her. My father put me out because she said, I don't like how you treating her. So she was there in the house with my father. So.
What are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say. I don't know.
You done lost your mind.
I ain't lost my
You
mind.
done lost your mind.
I don't know.
So instead of you admitting that I'm your daughter because I look like your father.
Well, thank you.
I don't trust you. You's a good person.
Coming from you.
You's a good person.
Hold on.
I trust you. But I don't trust myself.
Hold on, Mr. Langston.
You know.
So wait, you believe that you may not be Miss Garnett's biological father, but you believe your father may be?
I don't believe that. I'm saying there's some resemblance there and everything. Then who knows?
Miss Garnett, you can step back to the podium.
Your dad and me.
Who knows?
Your dad
Who
and
knows?
me.
Thank you.
I know my father,
As
too.
much as I loved your mom, please.
Miss Miller, I don't want to have to ask you this question, but I have to respectfully because we've come this far and we're trying to get down to the truth. Was there ever any type of relationship between you and Mr. Langston's father when you lived in the house with him?
A father and daughter. I looked at him like he was my family. I looked at his mom like she was my mom. I never looked at him in any other way.
And so there's absolutely no doubt in your mind that Mr. Langston is your daughter, Miss Garnett's biological father.
No doubt. No doubt.
Well, in light of all of this, I think it's time to get the results.
That's right.
Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Garnett versus Langston, when it comes to 36-year-old Shauna Garnett, Mr. Langston, you are not the father.
Are not the father?
He is not her biological father.
Now, don't look at me. Ask her who your daddy really is. I'm gonna love you. Don't do that. You my baby. You my baby. You my baby. See, Your Honor, this is what I was afraid of.
Oh my God.
To see her go through that hurt that I was hoping didn't happen.
Mom, there's something we're missing, Mom. And it's called another man. The DNA does not lie. Miss Garnett, I am so sorry, honey. I could tell from your face you were truly shocked. And this was not the answer you wanted.
Wasn't the answer I wanted either.
Ms. Brown, you say the only thing that matters to you today is the future of your 1-year-old daughter, Sanaya.
Yes, Your Honor.
You state you're here to prove the defendant, Mr. Rutledge, is her biological father because she needs 2 parents, yet he's seen her only once in her life.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rutledge, you say despite Ms. Brown's denial, there are indeed other men that could be her child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your sister, Ms. Rutledge, is also involved in this case, and we'll hear more from her shortly. So, Ms. Brown, why are you so sure Mr. Rutledge is your daughter's father?
Yes, Your Honor. Me and Mr. Rutledge, you know, we had sexual relations and things like that. And my doctor told me that I conceived May 25th, which was Memorial Day, which I was over there at his mother's house. She left to go to a cookout and everything. And me and him, you know, had sexual relationships on that day. I did not have sex with anyone else on that day. Did not have sex with anyone else around that time. Now, yes, you know, before me and Mr. Rutledge got serious, I had relations with other people, but never around the time that I conceived, or never around the time that I got pregnant. So, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Mr. Rutledge, she gave a pretty clear account of her version of the story. Do you agree with that?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Please tell me what your side of the story is.
Well, first of all, me and Ms. Brown was never in a relationship. It was only sexual relationship. I met Ms. Brown from, she was seeing my cousin, they was dating for a while. After they broke up, they split up, whatever. She got with my other cousin, had a one night stand with him, departed from him, got with my brother. Now, let me tell you this. When she got with my brother, she ran the same story on my brother and told my brother that she was pregnant by him. She tells my brother that, oh, I need you to give me money for a morning after pill.
Ms. Brown, you left these facts out.
Yes, I left them out, Your Honor, because they're not facts. First of all,
okay,
you don't have to pay for a morning after pill because everyone knows that a morning after pill is free whether you have insurance or not. So I never would say, can you pay for a morning after pill? As far as me having one night stands and all that with his cousins, if he felt that I had one night stands with his cousin or his brother, why would you turn around and have unprotected sex with me? I never was that type of person. He knew who I was, he knew how I was, he knew everything before, before we started even messing with each other because we had mutual friends, we were around each other. He had a chance to get to know me and everything, and as you can see, he still decided to have contact with me, so obviously I couldn't have been that much of a bad person that he's stating right now. And he claims that we were just friends and it was never that serious, it was just sexual relations. If it was just sexual relationships, why were your clothes at my house?
What?
He was always at my house until he went missing for like 4 days. And, I didn't know where he was at because usually he would at least text me or call me even if he didn't come over. And like out of nowhere, like for 4 days straight, I didn't hear from him or anything. And he came back out of nowhere, new sneakers, dressed and everything. Now, mind you, in the midst of everything, I went on Facebook and seen pictures of him and his daughter's mother together. So I'm like, okay, so this is where he's at. I'm all upset and everything. So I couldn't wait till he came so I can, talk junk to him about what was going on. And when he came in the house thinking everything was okay, I'm like, no, you was just, with your child's mother. You were gone, where were you? And he got mad because I was questioning him. And that's when, the drama started. And he like, oh, you're not my girlfriend. And that's when I found out. From my knowledge, I'm 22 years old. He's about to be 31 in September. I didn't know. He could have made that quite clear, that we weren't in a relationship. I didn't know. I only knew what I was being led to believe. If someone's coming over your house every day, sleeping with you, or, coming over, calling you, texting you, and leading you to believe you're their girlfriend, of course you're going to think that I'm a woman. Why would I
not? So, Mr. Rutledge, you've now heard that part of the story. Do you agree with that?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
How did I guess?
So in your estimation, this was just a casual sexual relationship?
And that's all it was. That's all she good for.
Your Honor,
Hold on.
Your Honor,
Let's be respectful, Mr. Rutledge.
Okay,
Let's be respectful.
Your
sorry,
Honor,
Your
can I
Honor,
just
I
say this?
apologize.
He said that that's all I'm good for, but I must have been good for a lot because he used to ride his 9-year-old daughter peking grade bike to my house all the time with his 30-year-old self. I have no reason to sit there and have to lie, or I'm not gonna come here and lie or anything like it. I know what I used to be, and I have changed a lot. And also in the same breath, like I said, I'm 22 years old.
When you say I know what I used to be, what do you mean?
Yes, back when I was like, younger, I did, used to be wild. I mean, like partying, drinking, hanging out, stuff like that. And, I've been through a lot of my life, and it was to the point where I wasn't really feeling like I was loved. So I would say I would look for love in different places. It may not have been the right way that I was doing it, but I did, and I can admit to that. But that was in the past.
And I'm happy you got yourself together. But I need to ask you, when you were looking for love in all the wrong places, and you were maybe being a little more sexually promiscuous than you are now,
Right.
was this at all during the window of conception?
No.
So that he could maybe be doubtful about the paternity?
No. I'm not saying that, he should just be so sure. I'm not saying that at all. But I know for a fact that around the time that I conceived, I didn't have sex with no one else.
So when you found out you were pregnant, you told Mr. Rutledge?
I told his sister first, Mrs. Rutledge.
All right, so you told his sister first.
Yes.
How did that conversation go?
I just told her I was pregnant. She kind of was in shock and stuff, and she just let me know, like, you do know, like, if you decide to keep this baby, it's a chance that you're gonna go through it by yourself, because he does have multiple children. But when I told her that I was pregnant, after I told her, I called Mr. Rutledge. I called him and let him know, like, yes, I'm pregnant. I told him actually to come to the house first. I'm like, we need to talk. He talk about what? So I'm like, I'd rather you come here and talk to you in person. He no, what is it? So I told him I'm pregnant. So he kind of got quiet for a little bit. He you pregnant? He so what you gonna do? Then he never mind, I'll be over there. Which probably 30 minutes to an hour later, he came over there on his daughter's peking gray bike and wanted to know, what was going on. So about the pregnancy. So, he didn't believe me at first, so I had to show him the paper. I showed him the paper and everything, see, I'm pregnant. And basically, he was just he already got kids. He don't know what I'm gonna do. He really kind of leaned towards me getting an abortion. He wanted me to get an abortion. But he was but if she's mine, he always kept saying if she's mine. So he's but if she's mine, I will take care of her.
So Mr. Rutledge, when you heard from Ms. Brown, what did she say to you?
Like she said, I went over to her house and everything, and we talked about her or whatever, and I told her that I wanted a DNA test.
And that was because you were doubtful from the start?
From the beginning.
So at that point, what real proof did you have to be doubtful?
I used to pick Jasmine up, Miss Brown, from dude's house. She be around me texting dudes. This is my friend, this is my homeboy, we just cool, this and that. And first of all, it was never about the baby. It was all about she wanted to be with me. She don't care whether the baby mine or not.
So when you gave birth to Sanaya, did Mr. Rutledge, did he show up to the hospital?
No, his sister, Mrs. Rutledge, was there when I had the baby. She was there every day while I was in the hospital. She was there. She sent her mother pictures, and I guess she sent Mr. Rutledge pictures, and he called, and he told her that he hoped my baby died, and that he don't want my baby around other children. And that's something that came out of her mouth. Now she want to stand here and try to act like she the best sister in the world.
Your Honor.
But everything that I know that he said about me, mostly she told me. Just like he said he didn't want my daughter around his other kids, that came out her mouth.
Okay.
No.
And breathe, Miss Brown. Just breathe. Is this true? I have to ask
Your
you,
Honor,
Mr. Rutledge.
I'm gonna tell you.
Please don't tell this court you said something vile.
I would never say that. I have kids of my own. She said, I hope the baby dies. I'm not gonna tell you what she told me about my kids. She came to my mom's house, said she was gonna leave her daughter on the doorstep of my mom. I said, don't do that because I'm not there, no one's there. She said, I don't care, man, I'm coming there. She took a picture of the door and sent it to my phone.
Your Honor, first of all,
that she was there with the baby and she was gonna drop the baby off.
Your Honor, actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not, the day that I took the picture of his door was not the day that I so-called told him something like that. I took a picture, I came to his house because me and him had got into it on the phone. He telling me, oh, she don't look nothing like me, that's not my daughter. And yes, I was enraged, I was very upset. If somebody tell you they hope your child die and stuff, you're gonna lose lose all respect that you have for them.
I
He
don't
doesn't
care
deserve
what
any
the
respect.
problem, what the rage, what the issue is. I don't know how the two of you can be having conversations that contain statements like, I hope your baby dies and I'm gonna run some kids over with a car.
May I say something?
That's just disgusting. So, Ms. Brown, as I listen to you, your concern is not just what transpired during this time, but also the fact that now that your child is here and he knows it's a possibility he could be the child's father, your concern is he hasn't come around.
I don't
Correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't expect him. He doesn't have to go through me to see her.
I was the one who told her she had no business dealing with him, being that he already had 5 kids, 4 different baby mothers. She already knew that.
Right.
I'm the one who told her that.
But, Your Honor,
I'm the one who told her to stay away from my brother, but she
did.
kept on communicating with him. So
Okay.
when she took it upon herself, she's a grown woman. I'm not gonna keep telling you anymore.
I understand your statement. I'd like to hear from your witness, Ms. Brown. Please stand, ma'am. And state your name for the court.
LaKanya Brown.
Ms. Brown, what do you understand about this situation?
Some stuff that she's saying not true, and a lot of stuff that they saying not true. Like that's
a
my
lie.
niece, and I love her, but what's real is real. Like, and at the end of the day, I feel like if you know it's a possibility that this is your baby, then why not? And yes, when my niece was running the streets and partying and doing what she did abandon her kids.
She's pregnant now.
And she left her
That's
kids.
not none of your business.
She
Have a
left her
baby so you can
kids.
stop worrying about
She's
mine.
pregnant now,
And
but she's not wild
So what? But why
Let's
you
get
worried?
some order.
You worry about the wrong things. Get some business so
You
you can
right.
stay out of mine.
Let's get some order.
But I was taking care of your business.
No, you wasn't.
Yes, I was. You and your
No, you
children.
wasn't. You never was.
Let the judge speak. Let her talk.
I apologize,
Continue,
Your
Ms.
Honor.
Brown.
I did call Child Protective Services on my niece, and it was because she had left her children at my mom's house with me and my mother. But it was not a removal situation. It was a situation for her to woman up. Like, these are your children, and you need to take responsibility for your children. And at the end of the day, Shawanda was involved. I called Miss Rutledge. I called Miss Rutledge to come over so we could talk with the CPS worker to try to find out what we were going to do as far as Sanaya is concerned. And gave Mr. Rutledge the opportunity to take a DNA test in our hometown.
Ms. Brown, you said in your testimony just a second ago that you offered to have the defendant, Mr. Rutledge, take a DNA test in your home state.
Yes, I told his sister, I went down to our courthouse, I got the paperwork, and she said, well, I don't know if he's gonna go take it. And he never showed up to take the test.
He never showed up. Why, Mr. Rutledge? Why not take the test?
She never showed up.
It was 2 times that he was supposed. It was just recently, Your Honor. It was just, she just had to go to court again for him, and he didn't show up.
Ma'am, the first one he was notified because I actually met with her aunt. She gave me the paperwork. She told me that they were filing for paternity. I told her that I would go ahead and relay it to him, which I did. When the day of the court came, neither one of them showed.
The first one, Jasmine showed up. The second one, neither one of them showed up.
Let's make something clear, because it's not a lot of talking, but I
It's
just
a
don't
lot
feel
of
like
drama
we're
with
getting
these
anywhere.
people.
It's a lot of drama with
You know,
these people.
Jerome, it's like we're running into a brick wall over and over again, and I just keep thinking about Sanaya saying to myself, if I'm this frustrated, what kind of nonsense is this baby living in? Miss Rutledge, do you really believe he's her child's father?
I believe there's a possibility. Do I believe 100%? No, because like I said, she was in and out of my home as well. She was there at my home as well. And I physically witnessed her talking to other men.
So you had
I
a
can't
strong
say for
doubt.
sure that 100%. But the reason why I was involved, because I felt obligated. My brother did have sex with her. So there is a possibility that Sanaya might be his daughter.
And so, Mr. Rutledge, are you hoping Sanaya is your daughter? Because I'm not reading any emotion or commitment or anything from you as it relates to this child.
It's just the character. It's just the character of her. Like, I would be happy if she is mine, but at the same time, I would be sad because the mother that she has to grow up with. You understand what I'm saying? Because she been through a lot.
I just don't understand, though, because when you lay down with somebody with no protection,
right,
on more than one occasion,
right,
are you allowed to get up later and talk about their character?
right.
After you potentially made a child with them? I mean, I'm just keeping it real. You have a choice. So let's get to the results because I think that's the only way we're gonna be able to move forward is to have the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Brown versus Rutledge, when it comes to 1-year-old Sanaya Rutledge Brown, Mr. Rutledge, it has been determined by this court that you are her father.
What? Now what? What y'all gotta say now? What do y'all gotta say now? Exactly. I thought that's what y'all had to say.
I apologize. I just want to know for sure, Jazz. That's it. Man.
But now you know, but you missed 16 months though.
You're right.
You been going through how you want to make that up though. I don't care how you feel about me. You go through my aunt if you don't want to go through.
I can make that up.
I'm glad to hear you say
I can make that up.
And it was nice to hear you apologize.
Can I see her again?
Would you love to see your daughter?
I would love to see her. Is there any way we can go to counseling and work this out?
Absolutely. Now that's what I want to hear from a young man that knows he has a child with a woman that he needs to just work some things through with. The little girl, this beautiful little girl, Sanaya, is what's important. Take that with you, be the father I know you can be, and allow him that opportunity for your daughter's sake,
So
okay? I wish you the best of luck. Court is adjourned. Ms. Reed, you are demanding that Ms. Austin have a paternity test administered on her child, whom she claims was fathered by your estranged husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're hoping the DNA test will prove that your husband is not her baby's father. Additionally, you are suing his mistress, Miss Austin, in the amount of $5,000 for alienation of affections. You argue that her affair has left you struggling financially as well.
Correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Austin, you say you are here today to defend your reputation and prove that Mr. Wallace is the father of your child. You argue that you do not owe Ms. Reed anything and she needs to move on with her life and pay her own bills.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Reed, how did you find out about Ms. Austin?
Okay, Your Honor, I found out about Mrs. Austin. One day I came in from the hospital from having my second child, and Ranielle's phone rang, and I just so happened to answer the phone. And Mrs. Austin, she said, I'm Ranielle's girlfriend. I said, Ranielle's girlfriend. Did you know that Ranielle was engaged to me or whatever and just had a baby? She said, no. I packed my things and I left with my 2 kids at the time, and I went and stayed at my aunt's house. Ranielle called my aunt's house several times trying to apologize for what he had done. Later on, I accepted Ranielle's apology. So later on down the line, Ranielle, again, I walks in, sees him on the phone with Mrs. Austin again. He tells me he's trying to break up with her. The phone call was like 3 to 2 hours long. It doesn't take someone 2 or 3 hours to break up with someone.
Okay.
But I forgave him again, knowing it was wrong, and got back in a relationship with him.
You took him back again?
Yes.
You then married him?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Ms. Austin, how did you get involved with a married man? We hear it may have started before the marriage and continued.
When I met Ranielle, they was not married. He nor told me that they was engaged neither. I found out on Facebook that Ranielle and Mrs. Reed was married. When she posted a picture up there of their marriage life, that's when I found out. And yes, I did confront Ranielle about the marriage, but at the same token, Ranielle would never came to me if Dominique was Miss Reed was taking care of home right.
So what you're saying actually is that you didn't have any regret or remorse about it because you felt like if she was handling her business, he wouldn't be over talking to you.
Right. Your Honor, that means that she didn't mind playing the role as his little mistress, because any woman wouldn't sit there and be in a relationship with a man that has a woman. Like, as me as myself, I have respect, and I don't want to be no one's mistress.
So, Ms. Austin, what's your response to that?
Well, he led me on. When they was married, Raniel was calling, he was texting me, telling me how he wants to get away from Dominique. The reason why he said he was with her is because of her money. That's what he said.
Your Honor, like, he was staying telling her that he needed money to get away from me, but the money that she was sending, Raniel, he was taking me out with her money, or like if my kids, my child or whatever, needed Pampers or milk, he'll take that money and go buy them the things that they needed.
So now, Ms. Austin, you claim that Mr. Wallace is the father of your child.
Yes.
Your Honor, how is he the father of her child when there was another man involved?
My ex-boyfriend, the ones who she go with down. I don't know if they go together.
Oh, wait now. Say that again?
Yes, the man that's the other person who they say that is my daughter Muriel's father is her man, that my ex, that she is dating now.
Your Honor, I can explain that situation. Your Honor.
Oh, please do.
I did that out of revenge. At the time, Raniel was cheating on me with her. So I noticed that Demiria was messaging a boy up on Facebook telling him how she missed him. So how about I get revenge on Raniel and talk to her boyfriend? Yes, I did it to her, Raniel, and I did it to her. And so Raniel could see it's not okay to cheat on someone and misuse them and tell them you love them, and that's not what you do to someone you love. You don't cheat on them and you don't misuse them, period. That's what I did it for.
Well, all right. Well, I think we need to see who these women are fighting over. Jerome, I want to meet Mr. Wallace. Can you please escort him into the courtroom? Sure. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
How you doing?
Mr. Wallace, let me ask you. You married to Ms. Reed.
Yes.
But you were sleeping with Ms. Austin.
Yes.
You had a baby with Ms. Reed.
3, Your Honor.
3.
Correct.
You might have a baby with Ms. Austin.
Allegedly.
You busy. You just standing there, Mr. Wallace, like you don't have a piece of remorse in the world. Now, you don't?
No, ma'am.
You don't have any issues with cheating on your wife?
No, she's not a victim.
She's not?
No.
Oh, fill us in.
First off, she wasn't a good wife. She barely cooks, she doesn't clean.
Correction.
I cheated because I was bored in my marriage.
Oh.
I was too young to get married in the first place.
So why did you get married?
Because I felt like it was the right thing to do because I was being pressured and I had 3 kids with her. So
Correction, Your Honor. If you was pressured to be in a relationship with me, why did you constantly come home to me? Why did you constantly, every time I got off work, was there, and you could have left and went home to your mother, your sister, or whoever the case may be? Your Honor,
she says you kept coming back to her, Mr. Wallace, over and over again. And she said that you were spending Miss Austin's money that she was sending to you on her.
Correct. And
yes.
Everybody's laughing. But the scary thing is there's children involved. I mean, you are people's parents. Mr. Wallace, you admit to being intimate with Ms. Austin.
Correct.
So do you believe her child is your child?
No, ma'am.
Why is that?
Because she has.
Don't you say no, boy, and she look just like you. She look just like you.
The other
she got
guy.
everything. Everything you want, she got on that, everything.
She looked like the other guy, who is currently her boyfriend.
I had sex with Raniel first, and I used unprotected sex with Raniel, and I used protected sex with the other boy. But
Your Honor, she's lying. The boy told me that he had unprotected sex with Demiria several times because he do not like to use protection.
So let me just ask off the fly. Who, baby, do you want it to be? Your husband?
No, Your Honor.
Or your boyfriend?
I'd rather for...
So let me just ask off the fly. Who, baby, do you want it to be? Your husband?
No, Your Honor.
Or your boyfriend?
I'd rather for... Fill me in on that. Your Honor, I'd rather for it to be his because I I feel like ever since Rael had other kids on my kids get the short end of the stick. They rarely see their dad. Like, when I take them to see him, I have to, like, leave them with him in order for them to spend time with their father. So I feel like before her child even got in the picture, Rael was there for my kids for whatever. Like, watched them, gave them whatever. But now that Mrs. Austin's child is in the picture, my kids have to suffer. And I feel that it's not right.
You're emotional now. What is it
Because
you're feeling?
the whole situation is just wrong. I was there for Rael for whatever, and he still went out and cheated on me with Mrs. Austin, and it was wrong.
You feel like it was her fault that he went out?
I feel like it was his fault, too, because, like, she didn't know what was going on, like she said. Rael was sitting up lying to her, so I can't really blame her. But then again, I can because she knew all about me and still slept with my husband. She still was in a relationship with my husband.
It's not her fault we're not together. It's your fault.
You're right, it's my fault because I left you. That's why we're not together, because I left you and went out and talked to someone else. That's why we're not together. So then again, it's your fault why we're not together.
So we're going to get the results of this paternity test shortly, but I have another witness, Jerome. There is another witness I'd like to hear from in this matter. Have a seat right up here by me. Thank you. State your name for the court, please, ma'am.
Kendra Roberts.
Thank you so much. Now, what brings you to court today? What would you like to add?
I also have a 5-month-old child by Mr. Wallace that he claims he's not the father of.
You also have a 5-month-old child that you say was fathered by Mr. Wallace, but he's denying that child as well.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. Just 1 second. We're going to get down to the bottom of this, but first, I need to deal with the people in front of me. You have a suit where you are suing Ms. Austin for alienation of affection.
Correct, Your Honor.
For the amount of $5,000.
Correct, Your Honor.
But what we found out today through testimony and confirmation is that Mr. Wallace actually went after Ms. Austin.
Correct.
Now, in order for you to sue for alienation of affection, you have to prove that this woman, young woman, planned to destroy your marriage. I don't see that. It was his free will that started this affair. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
So for this reason, my judgment is for the defendant. Now it's time to go to the results. Jerome, you have the envelope?
I certainly do.
Thank you. As per these results prepared by DNA Diagnostics, in the case of Reed versus Austin, when it comes to baby Demuriel, Mr. Wallace, you are her father.
Told you, dummy. She looks just like you, dummy. Everything, dummy.
You sitting there saying that, but you wishing on strings. Sorry.
No,
Yes.
not really.
Yes.
No,
Yes, you are hoping on strings. Yes, because you slept right here. Stop talking.
No, I don't gotta stop talking.
I wasn't hoping on strings because mine was already dead. Oh, you talking to her?
Oh, you.
Now
No,
listen.
you're not. You're not talking to me because mine's already been dead.
Let's get some order. You all have 3 children together. Now we know you, Mr. Wallace, have another one. And maybe one sitting right here with this young lady. The fact that when you got this result, both of you 2 ladies start going at it and Mr. Wallace just standing there looking like he ain't got nothing to do with it when he got everything to do with everything in here is very interesting to me. See, I get this situation. It's a lot of immaturity here. There are children here that need you all to grow up right now. You've made your choices. You all have chosen to bring children into this world. Now you need to live up to it. I want you all to get it together. Now, for you two, Ms. Roberts, Mr. Wallace, I am going to send you to DNA Diagnostics today because I want to get down to the bottom of whether or not you, Mr. Wallace, are in fact her child's father. That would give you 2 5-month-old children. Court is adjourned. I will see you back in this courtroom with the DNA results. Ms. Roberts, you are here requesting a paternity test to prove to the defendant, Mr. Wallace, that he is the father of your 5-month-old son, Danielle. You have asked the court to administer a lie detector test to prove he's still trying to be with you. Mr. Wallace, you say that if the results come back negative, you would like her to stay away from you and your current girlfriend, Ms. Austin. Ms. Reed. Now, you are here once again to find out if your husband, Mr. Wallace, is the father of yet another child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Woo! Ms. Roberts, please tell the court how you met the defendant and ended up in this situation.
I met him around my auntie's house. He was walking down the street. I started flirting with him. You know, he looked good to me or whatever, so I started flirting with him. Yeah. So I started flirting, but he did not tell me, you know, he was in a relationship or none of that. It's just...
He didn't tell you he was married to Ms. Reed?
He did not tell me he was married. Miss Austin told me that he was married.
Oh, wait. What did you know about his relationship with Ms. Austin?
One day, she supposed to have snuck into his phone and sent us texting or whatever, so she called me.
Okay.
So when she called me, I'm like, hello. She said, hello. Did he tell you he had a girlfriend that we was in a relationship?
Mr. Wallace, as for Ms. Roberts, when you met her, did you tell her you were married?
I forgot.
Forgot?
How could you forget about a marriage? All because he ain't wear the ring, so he ain't care about it.
You forgot you were married or forgot to tell her?
It just slipped my mind.
Let me remind you that you have 2 women that may each have a 5-month-old child by you. Matter of fact, one we've established previously, she does. So now there may be another. Did you forget that?
No, ma'am, but I don't believe that child is mine.
Why?
The baby don't have any of my features.
You said that about the last one, I remember.
Dummy, goofy, great.
The child looked like the rest of her kids, and I believe the same guy who is the father of her 4 other kids is the father of that baby. She's 22, she has 5 kids.
I sure do.
Wow.
I sure do. And you got 4, and what you do for him? Oops.
Your Honor. Can I speak?
Yes, Miss Reed, what I want to know from you right now is how did you figure out that there were 2 women pregnant by your husband?
Okay, I found out about Demiriel because she was calling Ryan's phone and Facebooking him.
Ms. Wallace?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Austin.
Correction. I found out about... Sorry.
See, y'all trying to confuse me.
Sorry.
Ms. Austin.
Right. I found out...
be Miss Wallace.
Whoa, I'm sorry?
Soon to be Miss
Correction.
Wallace.
Oh, my God.
Correction.
Oh, my God.
Ryan told me that he wasn't marrying anyone else. Sorry, so I'm sorry that he's...
Ryan told me. Chill. Let's do it. Let's do it. Walk out. Get your hand off my face. You mad.
Stay right there.
You messy. Real talk.
But Kenny, you know.
It's Wallace.
So you don't have to go through, Judge.
Mr. Wallace, you know what? This is a sad state of affairs to see 3 beautiful young women act a fool over you.